The Essex County is a capital of history and culture in New England. History was made, collected, and is now shared throughout the Peabody Essex Museum, where a legacy of cultural exchange is showcased today. By linking the past and present, the museum embraces opportunities to celebrate and explore the world through art and cultural achievements. It all started in 1799 when Salem's first merchants and entrepreneurs traveled the world in search of trade and established the East India Marine Society of Salem. These travelers ended up bringing back fascinating art, artifacts, and even books and documents that reflected cultures of the world that were yet to be discovered by most. These collections formed the basis for the Peabody Essex Museum and led to the historical exhibits that educated people of the different cultures of the world. Edward Sylvester Morse was one of the first merchants from Salem to travel to Japan in 1877. Morse collected a large number of pottery and art pieces, which would become one of the finest Japanese art collections of the era to be brought back to Massachusetts. In 1890, this collection was purchased by the Boston Museum of Fine Arts, but a large portion of it ended up at the Peabody Essex Museum in Salem as the Morse Collection of Japanese Art. In addition to a successful Japanese art collection, the Peabody Essex Museum collaborated with the East India Marine Society, who imported their own maritime art and history in the East India Marine Hall at the museum in 1825. This wing at the museum is unlike most others because the room itself is an artifact. It displays oil paintings, drawings, ship models, marine decorations, tools, and weapons used as the merchants and sailors explore Africa, India, and several parts of Asia. These pieces of art and culture in the Marine Hall display and represent the era of discovery and travel for merchants and explorers coming out of Salem. As the Peabody Essex Museum continued to grow, it adopted new collections and began to historically preserve houses of different cultures and eras. The Yin Tang House was built during the Qin Dynasty around 1800 in a small village in southeastern China called Huangkong. The house was built by the merchant family by the name of Huang and housed 20 to 30 people at one time that were from multiple generations of the family. Over 8 generations lived in the house before it was disassembled and brought to Salem in 1982. To promote the culture and architecture of the region and educate visitors at the museum of an undiscovered place and time period living style in China. 3 other houses are on display by the museum that have been historically preserved to show the different architectures of 3 eras. The John Ward House was opened to the public in 1911 in its original state as the first outdoor museum of architecture in the country and showed first period 17th century architecture. Originally, this house held John Ward, who was a leather maker and witness during the witch trials in Salem. Crowninshield Bentley House was an example of Georgian colonial architecture built for the sea captain John Crowninshield in 1727. 4 generations of this family lived in the 2-story house that was new architecture of the time period. Lastly, there is the Gardner Pingree House that was built during Salem's most prosperous years in 1805. With its lavish interior and intricate wood carvings, this house was a reflection of the wealthy sea captains that lived there and the greatest example of federal-style townhouses in New England. Looking at the houses and collections at the Peabody Essex Museum, it is clear that there are constant representations of the Essex County and many other cultures throughout the museum. From the start, the museum has been a way for people to learn about and embrace artistic and cultural achievements from around the world, and has left a lasting impression on the Essex County.